Okay, and so we're back. I got some water, and let's get the game up. So it is called Key to Us, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what it's about. Like sometimes it looks good, and I pick it. Um, I do think there's three love interests. I don't know whether I had to choose or if it's a why choose. I don't know. It's not on Twitch though, so let's do dating sim. Okay. English. I like that the cursor's key. I think that's cute. Would you like to turn on the sound captions? This feature describes music. No, please don't. Warning: this game may be inappropriate for audiences under 17, contains swearing, graphic depictions of blood and violent sexual themes, trauma, psychological horror elements, harassment, and death. Okay. Attention, this story is a work of fiction. All characters and names are fictitious, having no association with any real incidents, groups, or organizations. This work does not. Blah blah blah. Oh, it's kind of loud. Settings. Jesus. Music. That needs to be turned down too. What is that? Is that just audio? That was stupid loud. Holy shit. Okay, return. It's kind of interesting how it moves around. Let's start. How to play. Press enter, left click, or space to proceed through the story. Press V to enable self voice. Press A to open Runplay's accessibility menu. Press H to hide the dialog box. Choose a key. But like, what does this mean though? Am I choosing what I look like? Am I choosing a partner? What are we doing? I like the way this one looks. Shadows at my window. It's the fifth day in a row. Okay, this needs to be sped up a little bit. Settings. Oh, fuck. No, stop it. Sometimes the sky shows mercy, giving us a brief window to step outside, just enough to rush to the bakery. It's not letting me click on the settings. Text speed needs to be all the way up. But by the time we're heading back, the clouds break open again as if mocking us. They say rain is a blessing, so I shouldn't be so negative about it. To be honest, I used to enjoy watching the sky like this when I was younger. The way the raindrops trace invisible paths down the glass, the way the world seemed softer, blurred by the mist. It felt peaceful, comforting even. But lately my life has been stuck in the same shade of gray for long enough to make me hate it. Sitting in a swivel chair by the window, I watch the street through the fogged up glass. Occasionally a car passes by, its headlights carving faint streaks of light through the gloom. But for the most part, the world outside feels just as quiet as I do. The computer screen in front of me displays an empty inbox. My phone rests on the table with no new notifications, no missed calls, and no messages waiting to be read. The hum of the fan blends in with the soft rhythm of raindrops tapping against the window. filling the silence of my room. I hug my knees and take a deep breath. The dark circles under my eyes tell the story of hours spent staring at the ceiling. My gaze drifts to the cup on the table. By now the tea must be cold. I should get up and make another one. Do something. Anything. But I don't. With a sigh, I look back at my computer screen. Maybe this time there'll be something new to see. But the inbox stays empty, and the rain keeps falling. No answers. It's been a month since I started looking for a job. I've sent out countless applications, sat through dozens of interviews, walked into places I'd never even heard of before, answering the same scripted questions with rehearsed enthusiasm. What are your strengths? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why should we hire you? I gave them the best answers I could, or at least I thought I did. And yet, no response, no emails, no calls, not even a polite rejection, just silence. Know how that fucking feels. At first, the waiting was unbearable. Every notification on my phone made my heart jump. But days turned into weeks, and hope slowly gave way to something else. I'm not even sure what I'm waiting for anymore. My gaze drifts back to the window, and for the first time in a while, something outside catches my attention. There's movement in the yard next door. Not even the rain keeps her inside the house. The girl moved in recently, but I've already noticed that she's not much of a talker. Almost every day I see her in her yard, washing her truck or tinkering with tools. A quiet routine. I narrow my eyes, watching as she moves around the truck, adjusting something under the hood. Her clothes are already soaked, but she doesn't seem to care. Looks like she's heading out. As soon as she opens the vehicle door, a dog comes running, overflowing with excitement. It's a pit bull, broad-headed, strong build, and a naturally serious expression. A dog that demands respect without even trying. The kind that would make most people cross the street out of caution. But here, next to her, he looks like an oversized puppy, wagging his tail so hard he nearly loses his balance. He jumps around her, eager, as if he's been waiting for this moment all day. This is proof that she's a good person. She kneels next to the dog, petting his neck a few times before saying something and pointing toward the house. I can see he hesitates for a second, tail still wagging, but obeys, trotting aside without protest. Looks like she's going out alone today. The first thing that caught my attention when she moved in was her hair. Pink, shaved on the side, with a braid running down the other. It's exhibiting a striking attitude. Her clothes carry the same vibe, loud, unapologetic, with a personality that doesn't ask for approval. It kind of matches the permanently annoyed expression of hers. And honestly, this whole keeping to herself thing, it's almost attractive. I really need to stop staring at her. I don't even know her name, and I have no idea if she even knows I live here. The rain seems to be letting up more and more as I watch her. I hear the engine start, and I look down again. She pulls out of the road, heading down the path lined with trees on the sidewalk. I watch as she goes for a moment, and then I turn back to my squirrel world. Okay, Alana, enough watching your neighbor's life. Let's find something to do now. Shifting my focus to the corners of the room, my eyes wander in search of something that might offer a fleeting distraction. Make another tea. Let's play some games. As always, diving into a game might be the perfect escape. Going on adventures with elves is exactly what I need right now. The music swells gently, a melody I've heard countless times before, yet it never fails to calm me. I navigate through the menus without much thought, muscle memory guiding me as I load my last slave. Within moments, I'm somewhere else entirely. I'm where I have control. Here I can make sense of things. The hours slip away without me noticing. One quest turns into another, and soon the outside world feels distant. Only when my fingers start to ache from gripping the controller far too long that I finally pause, stretching my arms with a quiet sigh. Leaning back against the couch, I stare at the screen, watching my character stand idly in the middle of a vast, open landscape. Even though it's just even though it's just pixels and code, there's something oddly reassuring about it. I rub my eyes, blinking away the blur of fatigue. The game did its job. It gave me time to breathe, to exist without overthinking. Maybe it's time to let the real world back in just for a little while. Suddenly, I hear the rumble of the truck approaching. I move closer to the window, curiosity pulling me in. It's her again. The moment I recognize the truck, a familiar tension settles in my chest. I don't know why I always look for her, or the sight of her arrival tugs at something deep in my stomach. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's something else. She pulls up to the usual spot, the truck rolling to a stop with a soft crunch and of wet gravel beneath its tires. Then, without a second's hesitation, she pushes open the door, stepping out with effortless grace. A moment later, she emerges again, her fingers curling around the strap of a heavy backpack resting in the passenger seat. In one fluid motion, she swings it over her shoulder as if it weighs nothing, her movements precise. I watch, unable to look away. I wonder if she has a job. Maybe I could ask if they're hiring. I scoff quietly at myself, as if I'd actually do that. She locks the truck with a quick press of a button, the beep cutting through the quiet, and then turns toward the gate. Maybe I should try talking to her. The idea is ridiculous, but it sticks in my mind anyway. Or at least do something other than watch her from a distance. The thought lingers, teasing me, but I shove it away. What could I possibly say? Hey, I see you here all the time. What's in the backpack? Yeah, that wouldn't sound weird at all. Laughing awkwardly at my own mess, I shake my head. I pull my phone from my pocket, scrolling through the screen out of habit. I'm a mess. As I start to laugh at myself, something shifts. A strange prickling sensation crawls up my spine. I glance down and freeze. She's standing by the truck, her posture still, her gaze locked directly onto my window. My breath catches in my throat. Panic surges through me, and before I can think, I jerk back, stumbling away from the glass and throwing myself behind the curtain. Well, that makes it awkward. My heart slams against my ribs, my pulse roaring in my ears. Did she see me? Of course she did, but how long had she been looking, and why? I press a hand against my chest, trying to steady my breathing, but it's no use. My mind races, every scenario playing out at once, each one more mortifying than the last. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe she was just glancing around. But if she is not, then what now? Do I pretend nothing happened? Do I risk peeking again? Or do I finally do something? Slowly I creep back toward the window, half expecting to see her still standing there, but to my relief she's gone. God, how embarrassing. If that was the first time she saw me... My heart's... Oh, there's no way she's at the door, right? Right? My heart skips a beat and I freeze in place, unsure whether to answer or pretend I didn't hear it. The sound of the doorbell feels like a spotlight on me. Does she think I was laughing at her? I don't really have a choice, do I? God. Let me at least try to fix my hair. I descend the stairs, each step feeling higher than the last. A thousand things run through my mind. When I reach the door, I stop, and hesitating, I glance at the people. She's there, arms crossed, waiting. I take a deep breath, once more trying to calm the storm inside me. Then with trembling hands, I open the door. Oh shit. Wait. I like this view. She hesitates for a moment before turning toward me, and I take the opportunity to really look at her. Up close, she's different from how I imagine. The dim light catches all her features, highlighting the defined lines of her face. Tommy, mommy, hell yeah. I hadn't realized she had such a toned physique, and not just the kind of fitness that comes from casual exercise. And then there are her eyes. I want to see her eyes. Colder than I thought, lonelier too. She doesn't speak at first, just looking at me in silence. Teehee, she's hot. Hey. Hey. She shifts slightly, glancing toward the side as if debating something before finally speaking again. I just wanted to let you know that the rain flooded the corner of your garden. Seriously? Yeah, it'd be good to move your stuff. Oh, of course, thanks. No problem. She gives a small nod, her body turning slightly away from me. That should be the end of it. She did what she came to do, and now she's leaving. But something in me pushes forward before I can stop it. Maybe it's just an impulse, maybe it's some small flicker of loneliness surfacing at the worst possible time. My name's Elena. Or probably Alana. The words come out faster than I intend, like I'm afraid she'll disappear before I get them out. Slowly, she turns back, her expression unreadable, but her gaze sharp as it settles on me. I feel my heart drop into my stomach, a wave of embarrassment crashing over me. Now she thinks I'm stupid. The silence stretches just long enough to make me regret everything. Then finally she speaks. Luna. It's just one word, simple and clipped, but it catches me off guard. Nice to meet you. It's awkward, maybe too enthusiastic, but I say it anyway. Because for some reason, despite my nerves, despite the fact that she still looks like she's trying to figure me out, this feels like something. She doesn't respond. She just turns and heads back toward her house, the sound of her footsteps fading as she walks away. I stand there for a moment frozen, feeling like I've just made a fool of myself. My heart's still racing, but it's a little quieter now. I could have said something more, maybe, but now it's too late. And all that is left is this red color on my face. She's really beautiful. Unraveling threads. The rain seems to have eased over the past few days, retreating into a steady dampness rather than relentless downpours. Puddles still linger in dips along the pavement. The scent of wet earth and faint decay clings to everything. Yet the humidity remains, hanging thick in the air, wrapping around my skin like an invisible weight. It's the kind of weather that settles into your bones, a constant reminder that the sun hasn't been seen in days. At least it still lets me wear my long sleeve shirts without question. Uh-oh. That's the only thing that I actually like about this city. Even if the atmosphere often feels somber, the temperature never pushes into unbearable heat. I step carefully across the damp ground, carrying a bucket filled with tools. As I approach the chaotic mess left behind by the downpour, I pause, taking in the sight before me. Dislodged soil, half-drowned patches of grass, scattered leaves sticking stubbornly to the mud. Everything looks upturned. Damn, that's unfortunate. I exhale slowly, scanning the damage, trying to decide where to even begin. My garden is nothing special. It's not the kind of place anyone would admire, nor does it hold any sentimental values. I'm not someone who cares about appearances, and I definitely don't enjoy taking care of living things. Even looking at my own reflection in the mirror is enough to remind me that I can't even take care of myself properly. Mood. But today I need a distraction, and for once this problem feels like I can actually fix. I crouch down, fingers tightening around the worn handle of a small shovel. The damp earth resists at first, but it gives way as I start to dig, scooping out the worst of the damage. My body moves with practiced ease, as if it knows what to do even when my mind doesn't. Yet my thoughts drift, scattered like the muddy remnants of the rain's aftermath. What if I really don't get any job? The thought slithers through my mind like a parasite. I clench my jaw, blowing it away, but it lingers. It hangs over me like a storm cloud, dark and unrelenting, threatening to pour down any moment. Fuck. I swear I can read. What if I have to spend another month stuck in this money desperation? She's really me. She's me for real. Like, fucking mood. My grip on the shovel tightens. The damp wood presses into my palm, grounding me, but not enough to push away the gnawing fear curling in my chest. I stop digging, my boots sinking slightly into the muddy ground as I stare at the tools in my hand. Can I be Dami Mommy? Hell yeah. My fingers tremble, just enough for me to notice, just enough to make me angry at myself for being this weak. I just replaced my chunk with muscle. Facts. I never thought I'd feel this hopeless. What's wrong with me? I tip my head back, eyes searching the endless gray sky. The clouds remain unbroken, heavy with the weight of the unfallen rain. It's foolish, but I still hope for some kind of sign to tell me that I'm not just wasting my time. But there's nothing. The silence around me is deafening, and somehow that silence feels like an answer in itself. I am hardworking, aren't I? I mean, I handle everything on my own, I take care of the house, I manage my studies, and still... I glance at the small pile of dirt I managed to move. It's such a tiny accomplishment, a meaningless victory in the face of something so much bigger, so much more suffocating. Still, I'm not good enough for them. The words slip out before I can stop them, barely more than a breath, but they feel real. Too real. I swallow hard, try to push the thought away, but it sticks. What more do I have to do for them to notice me, to give me a chance? Frustration flares hot in my chest, sharp and suffocating. Before I can stop myself, I fling the shovel to the side. It lands with a dull thud in the damp grass, but it's not enough. The tension inside still burns, coiled tight in my ribs. I stare at the mess the rain left behind. For a moment, I wonder if I'll ever be able to fix anything. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. The words slip out before I can catch them. I immediately regret saying them out loud. They feel too final, too true. Irritated, I grab the shovel again and slam it into the ground with more force than necessary, letting out a frustrated growl. I've been holding it together for so long, since the first round of interviews, since the first rejection, since the slow realization that maybe my best isn't enough, and now it feels like I finally hit my limit. The pressure inside me snaps. I turn sharply, striking my butt against the bucket at my side. The metal container rattles violently before tipping over, sending the tools inside tumbling across the lawn. And then, what a racket. A voice flat, unimpressed. It slices through the thick air, cutting straight into my anger. My entire body Whoa. Hold on. Pause. My entire body jerks at the sound. I whip my head around, eyes landing on the unexpected figure standing a few yards away. She's leaning lazily against the doorway of her house, one shoulder pressed against the frame, arms crossed loosely over her chest. Her expression is unreadable, but her gaze is unmistakably on me. Even if she's not looking directly into my eyes, my face burns. I immediately drop my gaze, staring hard at the mess on the ground as if it might somehow make me disappear. Of course she heard me. Of course the one time I completely lose my composure, there has to be an audience. My frustration burns hot in my chest, but the feeling doesn't last. It crumbles almost instantly, giving way to embarrassment. A deep, gnawing humiliation that makes my skin prickle. Why can't I just handle things like a normal person? The weight of my outburst lingers in the damp air, but she doesn't react further. No amused chuckle, no scolding remark. A thick, unmoving quiet stretches between us. I keep my eyes stubbornly locked on the ground, refusing to acknowledge the mess of scattered tools at my feet. If I don't look at them, maybe she won't either. Maybe she'll just leave. But she doesn't. She's just watching us have a breakdown. The leaves rustle softly, a whisper against the heavy stillness, but it does nothing to ease the tension gnawing in my stomach. She doesn't seem bothered by it. Not by the silence, not by my presence. And yet I feel nervous. There's no window to shield me this time, no curtains to duck behind. I'm standing in the open with nothing between us. It's ridiculous. Why should I be hiding? The realization unsettles me. When did I start thinking like this? When did avoiding people become second nature? I guess I've spent so much time locked away in my room that isolation has become a habit. As these thoughts swirl in my head, I risk a glance to the side. She's still there, unmoving, watching. Then, without warning, she tilts her head slightly, her gaze sharpening with an almost amused air. You can keep complaining if you want. I was just annoyed at all the noise you're making with these tools. Oh, sorry. Silence swallows the space between us. If this could even be called a conversation, it's one that has now completely stalled. She doesn't speak right away. Instead, she watches me, her posture relaxed, but her expression shifting ever so slightly. Her gaze sharpens, the easy amusement before replaced by something closer to irritation. And now, judging by the flicker of annoyance in her eyes, she's growing impatient with my silence. My mind scrambles for something to say, but my throat tightens, refusing to cooperate. Why are you so quiet now? You seemed pretty frustrated a moment ago. Her double hair intimidates me. Yeah, I was looking at that too. I freeze. Heat rushes to my face so fast it makes me lightheaded. She heard me. Of course she did. She was standing right there. But somehow hearing her acknowledge it out loud makes it worse. It's not like I want to impress her, far from it, but this is now the second time I've ended up looking like an idiot in front of her. And for some reason that realization bothers me more than whatever impression I might be giving off. I don't really care about it. Her voice is flat, uninterested, as if the entire exchange is already losing her intention. I was just a bit surprised. You don't seem like the type to take your stress out with violence. My head snaps up at that, my eyes meeting hers before I even realized I've moved. The words catch me off guard, not because they're particularly deep, but because there's something strangely direct about them, like she's genuinely observing me, piecing something together. Say that to my pillow. I say it seriously, my face almost scrunching up with irritation, but she just looks at me, a hint of surprise in her gaze. Then I see her turn her face to the side and bring a hand to her lips as if trying to hide a laugh. What? Nothing, I just thought it was better not to stare at you. You can end up beating a teddy bear thinking of me tonight. I feel my face burn with embarrassment again, but instead of looking away, I glare at her with frustration. The urge to get up, grab her by the collar, and shake her is strong, but instead I just keep my hands on the grass, fists clenched. Up until now, I was frustrated because I made a fool of myself, but now it feels like she's having fun with it. That doesn't sit right with me. I can feel the frustration growing in my chest, tightening like a knot. I don't like this feeling. Just because I'm not as strong as you doesn't mean I don't know how to fight. Oh, nice. That's good for you. Her words are calm, almost amused, but they only fuel the fire in my chest. She's starting to irritate me more than she charms me. I turn my attention back to the dirt beneath my knees, clicking my tongue in an attempt to ignore her presence. Looking at her from the window, I thought she wasn't the social type, but I didn't expect her to be this rude. Trying to keep myself busy, I grab the shovel again and start digging into the soil, forcefully separating the mess left by the rain. I can feel the dirt creeping under my nose with every angry movement, and I make sure to be louder than before. Every scrape of the shovel against the earth feels like an outlet for the frustration I'm holding back. It's a small, pointless rebellion, but for now it's all I have. You don't have a job, do you? She didn't have to fucking say it like that. That was crazy. Her question cuts through the sound of the shovel against the ground, hitting directly at a weak spot in my chest. She completely ignores the mess she's caused in me, switching the topic like it's nothing. I'm surprised she asked that, but I feel a deep sense of guilt knowing the answer. For a moment, I stop what I'm doing and just stare at the ground. She watches my silence but doesn't seem to understand its weight. No. My voice comes out weak, with no trace of anger left from the earlier exchange. Surprisingly, she seems to sense it. Instead of pushing, she just sighs, her gaze softening a little. I'm only asking you because I see you all the time by the window. I feel a rush of warmth. I feel a rush of warmth floods my body. Huh? I feel a rush of warmth flood my body, every bit of shame coursing through me. In an unexpected reaction, I turn my face toward her, but to my relief, there's no mocking expression on her face. You have to be careful with that. Someone could catch you staring and not like it. So you're saying you liked it? Wait, is this a hint? You might see things you shouldn't see. And you might end up telling the wrong person. I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't see you leaving the house much. I barely go to the bakery. Hold on, so she's watching me around too? But that doesn't stop you from posting comments online or having virtual friends. Oh, I guess I do have some of that. It shows. What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean by that? Nothing. Mm-hmm. As she finishes the sentence, she lets out a chuckle. It's soft, almost imperceptible. Imperceptible. What the fuck? Perceptible. But somehow so sweet, it immediately captures my attention. I want to be angry because this is the second time she's teased me, but for some reason I can't. My mouth doesn't open and my eyes remain fixed on her face. Well, I have stuff to do. I'll give you space to complain about your life. She then turns and looks at me. I think at that moment there was no way I could hide the feeling showing. She doesn't even try to pretend she doesn't understand. But instead of saying anything, she simply shakes her head and turns, heading back into her house. It's not fair for her to just turn her back after seeing what she did to me. She really doesn't care about the consequences of her actions. It's irritating, but at the same time thrilling. Maybe it's because my life has been so monotonous that any interaction can push me to the edge. Or maybe it's something else. How long has she been noticing me? I forgot to ask about her job. I hesitate, unsure if I should do it now or just stick to my original plans. I lost the moment, and maybe she'd find it weird if I brought it up now. But it would be a good excuse to talk to her again. Maybe it's just the adrenaline from the situation, but I can't help the urge to go over there. I also I can't stop thinking about how the worst... Wait, what? There's no way to go back on this one. Damn. What if she finds me annoying? My hands clutch the side of my pants as I stare at her door, the same door she just walked through without hesitation. Unlike me, she seems so certain, so sure of what she does. Damn it, I'm gonna hate myself if I don't go. I take a deep breath, and before my courage has the chance to dissolve into the cold air, I take a step forward. I knock on the door, the sound of wood reverberating through my skull like a dull chime. The moment my knuckles leave the surface, I realize how absurd this is. What the hell am I doing? This is so stupid. Maybe if I move fast enough, she won't even notice. But before I act, the sharp click of the lock echoes in my ears. My breath catches in my throat. The door swings open. Wait. How do I... Was it H? Doggy. I just peeped. She had her hand on something and was like, wait. She stands there leaning slightly against the frame, arms casually crossed. Her expression isn't exactly surprised, but there's something in her eyes as if she already expected this moment to happen. Yes? How do I even say this now? I shift my weight from one foot to the other, glancing away, suddenly hyper-aware of how ridiculous I must look. The idea had made sense in my head, but now standing here under her scrutinizing gaze, it feels childish. Go straight to the point. You asked me about my job, but you didn't say anything about yours. And why do you want to know that? God, I was trying to play cool. Do you know of any place that is hiring? The words leave my mouth before I can second guess them, but the moment they do, doubt grips me. She just stares, for a second too long. No, I don't. Oh, I see. I lower my gaze, suddenly feeling stupid for even asking. But just as I'm about to mumble something to escape this moment, she speaks again. But if you want, I can hire you. Eh? My head snaps up so fast it nearly gives me whiplash. She doesn't flinch at my reaction, instead just tilts her head slightly, studying me like she's assessing something unseen. A second passes, then another. Finally, she gestures vaguely toward her house, shifting her weight as if the conversation is already settled in her mind. Yeah, I mean, even though you're a bit hot-headed, you did a decent job with your garden. I blink at her, my brain struggling to process if she's teasing me or being serious. Her tone holds no mockery, no amusement, just simple observation, as if she's already decided this makes sense. What do you think about helping me out around here? Helping? Yeah, I barely have time to stay home, and it'd be nice to have things organized once in a while. I stare at her, mind racing in circles. Is she serious? This isn't what I was looking for, not at all, and yet, it's a job. More than that, it's a reason to talk to her again. Something unfamiliar twists in my chest, something I can't quite name. I'll do it. Her lips twitch, just a little, like she's amused by my determination. Great, you can start now if you want. She watches me for a beat longer, then exhales softly. Then, without another word, she turns and disappears behind the door. I stand there staring at the empty space she left behind, feeling my heart pound against my ribs. She's gone, but her words are still there, echoing in my mind, filling the space she left behind. Something is shifting, finally. The half-open door. It's been a few days since I started working in Luna's garden. When I first stepped into the yard, I realized the situation was far worse than what I had imagined. The overgrown weeds stretched in every direction, wild vines crawled up the walls, invasive plants, and even the air smelled of damp earth and decay. But the worst part, the creatures. Hidden beneath layers of rotting leaves and neglected soil, nests of insects had made themselves at home. Ew! I lost count of how many times I nearly disturbed a colony of ants or uncovered a spider lurking in the shadows. Set it on fire. At one point, I even spotted something moving in the tall grass, a flicker of dark scales vanishing before I could get a better look. Don't like that. This wasn't just a mess, it was a battlefield, and I had walked straight into it, armed with nothing but a rusting shovel and a pair of dull pruning shears. Right? Like, yucky. Don't like. The first few days were grueling. My muscles ached from hours of pulling weeds, cutting through tangled roots, and hauling away piles of debris. The sun hidden behind the usual gray clouds still managed to leave my skin sticky with sweat, and every evening I returned home covered in dirt, sore to my very bones. It was only after I casually mentioned my struggles to Luna that things got a little easier. The next day she dropped off a few supplies like pesticides, stronger tools, and gloves thick enough to keep me from flinching every time I reached into an overgrown bush. She didn't say much, just handed me the items and muttered something about not wanting me to drop dead on her property. Wow, thanks so much. Also, I don't know how I feel about this little heart right here, and the fact that there's blood spatters constantly. Overgrown bush. Listen, words are hard. I took that as a sign of encouragement. Now that I've settled into the routine, the work doesn't feel as overwhelming. The tasks are straightforward: keep the yard clean, remove anything that shouldn't be growing there, and make sure the plants that are supposed to be alive stay that way. Thankfully, Luna never asked me to plant flowers or take care of anything delicate. I have a feeling she knows that I'd probably manage to kill even the most resilient plants. She better trim that bush. The physical labor keeps my mind occupied, forcing me to focus on something tangible rather than letting my thoughts spiral into an unusual cycle of doubt and frustration. And of course, Luna pays me for every day I work. It's not the kind of salary I'd get from a proper job, but it's enough to quiet the constant worry of how I'm going to make ends meet. More importantly, since she's rarely home, I don't have to deal with the pressure of someone hovering over me, silently judging my work. For the first time in a while, I can't just exist, doing something productive without the crushing weight of expectations. It's a little surprising how much she trusted me to do this, and yet she still keeps her guard up. Despite the fact that I've been working here for days, proving that I'm not some troublemaker looking to take advantage of her, she remains distant. She told me I can walk freely around the garden at any time without needing to let her know. LOL, I don't know. But there are limits. I'm not allowed to enter the house, not even to step onto the porch or get too close to the windows. The rule was laid out in a tone that left no room for debate, no room for curiosity. At first, I didn't question her reasons. It made sense. After all, she barely knows me. Any normal person would want to keep someone distance from a stranger, even if they hired them for work. But the way she said it, something about her voice and the light in her eyes when she looked at me, wasn't just a simple boundary being set. It was a warning, a firm line drawn in the sand. That's what I'm feeling. That do be what I'm feeling. It was a threat. And I understood immediately this wasn't a rule to be tested. If I ever crossed that line, if I ever ignored that unyielding command, I would regret it. And I can't take that risk now that I finally got this job. Kneeling on the damp soil, I let out a quiet sigh and returned my focus to the weeds growing stubbornly near the front steps. Oh, come on. I pulled this crap out at the start of the week. Why is it already back? Before I can dwell on it any further, a deep familiar rumble cuts through the quiet afternoon air. The low vibrations travel through the ground beneath me, faint but distinct, shaking me from my thoughts. Right? What was in the bag? Because I don't think she left with that bag. Or at least we didn't comment on her carrying a bag, and she just came back with one, so... I don't know, man. Instinctively, my attention shifts toward the road. I turn my head just in time to catch the first glimpse of movement beyond the tree line. The vehicle emerges around the bend, its headlights flickering briefly against the late afternoon light before settling into the familiar path leading up to the house. And then, as expected, I see it. A flash of pink through the windshield, a vibrant even behind the streaks of dirt clinging to the glass. Luna. Before I even realize it, a small involuntary smile tugs at the corner of my lips. It's brief, but enough to catch me off guard. The truck rolls to a stop near the entrance, the tires crunching softly over the gravel. The engine gives one last groan before falling silent, leaving only the rustling leaves and the distant chirping of birds in its wake. Then, with an easy, practiced motion, she pushes the door open and steps out. Hey, you're home early today. Yeah, there wasn't much for me to do there. Figured I'd come back and get some rest. Got it. It's only been a few days since I started working here, but already it feels as though I don't need to worry about my expressions or the feelings hidden behind them. There's something strangely comforting about the way Luna interacts with me. She doesn't scrutinize every word I say. There's no judgment, no probing curiosity that digs beneath the surface. It's almost as if I'm just another part of the scenery, something she's used to, something that doesn't require much attention. And while that should have me feeling distant, strangely it doesn't. It doesn't make me feel invisible or forgotten. No, it makes me feel lighter. As much as part of me wishes I could be more of an enigma to her, a part of me appreciates the space it gives me. Because with this unexpected lack of interest, I find myself free to talk to her without that underlying fear of saying the wrong thing. And that's a relief I didn't realize I needed until now. How's the garden? A lot of work. These weeds just don't seem to stop. Right, that's why I gave up on it. Can't blame you. I did the same with mine. I'm only taking care of yours because you're paying me. Yeah. She gives an awkward smile, her lips twitching slightly as if unsure whether to commit to the expression fully. Her eyes dart away, and without another word, she turns toward the back of her truck. I watch as she scans the cluttered space, her gaze flickering over various items with a hint of frustration. Her fingers drum lightly against the side of the truck before she exhales, running a hand through her vibrant pink hair, ruffling the strands as if the motion might somehow help her think. There seems to be a lot of stuff packed in there. The troubled crease between her brows deepens as she shifts her weight from one foot to the other before pulling away, reconsidering. I wonder if she bought all this from her job. A sudden curiosity bubbles inside me. Now that I think about it, I never really asked what she does for a living, nor where she came from, or anything too personal, really. Now that the thought has taken root in my mind, it refuses to leave. I know that if I don't say something soon, it will escape in the form of another embarrassing, ill-timed question. Where are you from? I clasp my hands behind my back, fingers twisting together in a feeble attempt to hide my nerves. My gaze stays fixed on the ground as I silently piece together the words in my head. It's funny, just a few minutes ago I was talking to her normally, but now suddenly I'm stumbling, lost on the weight of my own hesitation. I wish I could understand my feelings. Where'd you come from? The words come out clumsy, tripping over themselves, and for a second I regret asking. My question makes her turn her head toward me, eyebrows raising slightly in surprise. I used to live in the neighboring city, east of here. Oh, so you're familiar with the city as well? Not really. I spent my whole life there. Well, most of my life. She mutters the words, wrinkling her nose in a way that makes it painfully clear I shouldn't pry any further. And why did you move? She doesn't answer right away. Instead, her eyes drift toward the truck, her gaze unfocused, looking at something far beyond what's physically in front of her. A shadow passes over her face, quiet but heavy, and for the first time since I met her, I see something raw in her expression. There's a melancholic weight in her eyes, a sadness woven between the thoughts she doesn't say aloud. I guess my life there has ended. Turning her back to me, she shifts her focus entirely on the truck. It's as if she's already filed our conversation away in the depths of her mind and moved on. I didn't mean to do that. Return. But for me, even this brief exchange feels like progress. It may have been almost insignificant on the surface, but it was enough to wedge the door open just a little wider, enough to let me step a little closer to understanding her. Need help? It's fine. I'll bring it inside later. Alright. It's just dog food anyway. Well, I'll let you get back to your work. Alright. There's something a little hesitant in her voice, a flicker of uncertainty that lingers in the air between us, but before I can dwell on it, she's already walking away. For some reason, I wish she'd stay a little longer. Maybe it's because despite her tough exterior, there's something about her that pulls me in. Luna approaches the door. The moment she pushes it open, a loud, grating creak tears through the air. It's the sound of old wood resisting forceful movement. And before my brain can even register what's happening, a fast, powerful blur bursts out of the house. Doggy! A streak of muscle and fur launches forward at full speed, a pit bull. The dog charges straight towards me, its paws kicking up dirt as it propels itself forward, jaws slightly open, revealing sharp teeth that glint under the fading sunlight. Every fiber in my being screams at me to run, but I know that's the worst thing that I could possibly do. I drop everything in my hands and stay perfectly still. My heart slams against my ribs, hammering so hard it feels like it might burst through my chest. My breath is stolen away by fear as it sinks its claws into me. I can't even blink as I watch that massive creature close the distance. Just as panic begins to take full control, a voice slices through the chaos, sharp and commanding. Princess. Of course her name's Princess. I love that. The name rings out like a gunshot. The pit bull skids to a sudden stop, dirt spraying in the air as it plants its paws firmly into the ground, barely a meter from my face. Its eyes lock into mine, dark, intense, scrutinizing. Its nose twitches wildly as it sniffs the air, inhaling every bit of my scent, deciding if I'm a friend or an intruder. Princess, don't you dare! Luna's voice is firm, her 30 slicing through the tension like a blade. Bruh, I keep doing that. The dog doesn't move. Every muscle in its body is taut, like a cold spring ready to explode again at any moment. Now come back here. There's a flicker of resistance, but after a brief pause, the pit bull finally turns, muscles rippling beneath its sleek coat as it slowly pads back towards her. Luna barely spares the dog a glance before guiding it back inside. The door shuts behind them with a decisive thud. The moment the dog disappears from view, the tension in my body snaps like a broken string. Air rushes out of my lungs all at once, like I've been drowning and finally broke the surface. My chest heaves as relief crashes over me in waves, but my body has already reached its limit. My legs give up. I collapse onto the grass, the cool earth pressing against my trembling hands. From the doorway, Luna sighs. There's an apology in her sound, maybe even regret. Then she steps down from the porch. Sorry, she doesn't get along with people. Yeah, I noticed. But she's obedient. Noted that too. A heavy silence settles between us, thick and suffocating. I open my mouth, forcing out a few words, but they come out unsteady. The humor is weak, brittle, cracking under the weight of what just happened. I don't want her to worry about me, I really don't, but no matter how hard I try to brush it off, I can't shake the lingering shock of it all. My eyes stay locked on the ground, the uneven dirt and scattered blades of grass blurring together in a meaningless haze. Then something shifts in my vision, a soft blur of pink, and then before I can fully process it, I feel it. Her fingers, warm and impossibly gentle, brushing against my cheek. The touch is light, her fingertips just barely tracing along my skin. My breath catches in my throat. Her gaze is on me, searching for something. Breathe. Her voice is low, almost a whisper, but it cuts through the haze in my mind. I try, I really do, but at this point the panic has already ebbed away, leaving behind a deep, burning embarrassment that crawls up my neck and settles under my skin like a second layer of warmth. On instinct, I turn my face away from her touch, breaking the connection before it can linger any longer. She doesn't complain, she doesn't even move, she just watches me. I force out a breath, rubbing the back of my neck, hoping I can play it off. Maybe she thought I smelled like dog food. It was supposed to be a joke, but Luna doesn't seem amused. Her silence is heavier than any words she could have said. I'm fine, really. I think you should call it a day. Oh no, don't worry, I still need to... I'm telling you to go now. That voice again, that same sharp, firm tone that keeps me from arguing. There's no room for discussion, only a quiet, unspoken warning beneath the surface of her words. Something about it makes my chest tighten. All right. The word leaves my mouth without thought. I don't question it, I don't push for answers. I just get up, my movements sluggish. As I take my first step away, I can feel it. Her gaze. It stays on me, burning into my back with an intensity that lingers long after I've put distance between us. And even when I finally disappear into my house, that feeling doesn't leave me. After the shower, I sit down in the chair, looking through my emails. I still have this habit. I keep waiting for a response from someone. But like always, there's nothing there. I don't want to feel like this, but when I look at the screen, I feel like I simply don't exist outside this place. It's almost like I don't make a difference. I let out a deep sigh and turn toward the window. The sky is dark, night has already spread its blanket of stars above us, but the moon decided to skip the show tonight. I glance down and spot the warm glow of Luna's garden light. There she is by the truck, reaching for something from the back of it. With strength and a surprising amount of grace, she lifts a massive bag over her shoulder and carries it toward the house. It has to be a dead body, right? Damn, she's really strong. I think that's probably 15 kilos of weight on her shoulders. And there are 2 bags. Okay, maybe it's not a dead body. Damn, that dog eats too much. I let out a nervous chuckle, trying to shake off the tension still clinging to me like a second skin. But even as I force myself to smile, my mind begins to drift into dangerous territory. What if... The thought forms before I can stop it, dark and intrusive. What if she hadn't stopped her in time? What if that sharp voice of hers hadn't worked? Could be cut in half. That is true. What if I had run? A shiver crawls up my spine. I shake my head violently, forcing the thoughts away before they can take root. No, none use dwelling on that. I pull away from the window, exhaling slowly.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
That was a lot of shit for me. That would be a crazy way to fucking die, though. I pull away from the window, exhaling slowly, trying to ground myself. My feet move on autopilot, carrying me toward my bed, but the unease lingers, refusing to let go. Damn. How'd she die? Dude, she got eaten by a dog. It's crazy. Lately, I've been sleeping better, but tonight I have a feeling I'll be having nightmares about a certain princess. I'm here again today, but this time the truck is here too. It seems like Luna didn't have any obligations today, and from what I can tell, she decided to stay home and organize her things. From the window, I watch her walking back and forth, lifting furniture and dragging a broom from one side of the room to the other. From the garden, I watch, a bit dazed by the situation. She always seems so careless, like she doesn't care about anything, but the truth is she does care. About things. And about people, apparently. Yesterday, when she came to check if I was okay, it made me uneasy at first, but later I kept thinking about it. Her touch was gentle, careful, and deeply concerned about me. It wasn't the guilt of letting her dog run off, but a genuine concern about whether I was alright. Suddenly, I realized I'd been staring at the window for far too long. That's when I noticed her standing inside looking directly at me. Embarrassed, I quickly lowered my head, trying to avoid her gaze and focus on my work. I'm almost done when I hear the door open behind me. For a moment, I don't turn around. I'm focused on finishing the last spot, but the sound of the soft rustle of the hinges gets my attention. She stands there, framed by the doorway, arms crossed over her chest. The way she stands makes her seem both distant and intense. I can feel the nervous tension building in my chest, but I try to hide it, focusing on my work. Just a little more and I'm finished. I just want to make sure I sprayed the corners properly this time. Why are you always looking at me? Well, damn! The question comes out of nowhere and it catches me completely off guard. My mind blanks for a second and I almost bite my tongue trying to formulate some kind of response. Her gaze is steady, but there's something in her eyes that tells me she's trying to figure me out. It's not judgmental, it's curious. Concerned even. For a moment I wonder if I should just deflect. Maybe make a joke and pretend I didn't hear her properly. But when I look at her again, I realize she's waiting for an answer. I don't know. Of course you do. Because that's exactly what people say when they're trying to hide something. She takes a step closer, her eyes never leaving mine. The way she speaks, it's more like she's trying to make sense of something, trying to connect dots that she sees, but I don't. My thoughts spin, and I try to find the right words, but they all seem to get stuck in my throat. People usually think I'm strange, but when I ask them what's wrong, they say they don't know. Her voice softens at the end of the sentence, like she's almost speaking to herself, and I can't help but feel the weight of it. I stand there feeling a strange mix of guilt and confusion swirling inside me. Then the words slip out before I can stop them. Oh wait, I don't think you're strange if that's what you're thinking. You're way too beautiful to be... She looks at me, eyes wide, and for a split second neither of us say anything. The silence stretches, and it feels suffocating. And then I freeze again, realizing what I said. I can feel the blood rushing to my face, burning with embarrassment. I didn't mean it in a bad way, I swear. But now that it's out there, it feels like I've crossed some invisible line. I open my mouth, ready to apologize, but the words catch in my throat. Her expression is unreadable, and I feel like I've made everything worse. I'm sorry. It's the only thing I can think to say, and it comes out small, almost too quiet. I can't bear to stand there any longer, not with the way my face is burning and the awkward tension hanging between us. Without saying another word, I grab my tools and stand up quickly, turning away from her. I don't even look back as I make my way to my house. My heart is racing, and I can feel the heat in my face, the sting of embarrassment following me to the door. A puppet strings. I'm waiting for the creepiness to enter. After what happened yesterday, I didn't even have the courage to look out the window today. I spent the entire morning glued to my computer trying to distract myself with random online games. But no matter how many levels I cleared or how many pointless matches I played, my mind kept circling back to the same thing. To Luna. To that split second when my words hung in the air, the way her eyes widened, caught between surprise and something else I couldn't quite place. I groaned, leaning back in my chair, rubbing my face with both hands as if that could erase their memory. She looked surprised, almost like she had never heard it before. Could that be it? Or was it because I was the one who said it? More and more questions filled my mind, each one heavier than the last, and none of them feel good. None of them brings comfort. Maybe I crossed the line. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all. After all, I barely knew her. And maybe she wasn't expecting to hear something like that from another girl. My stomach twists, flipping over itself in a sickening wave. Suddenly 1,000 awful possibilities flash behind my eyes. Rejections, misunderstandings, and a silent distance are growing between us. For all the quiet, for all the strange, unspoken space between us, she had brought the faintest light into my colorless world, and now I'm terrified of losing it. I should talk to her, explain myself, but what exactly am I going to say? How do I even begin to explain? Hey, Luna, so about yesterday, just forget what I said. I don't actually think you're beautiful. Or worse. Actually, I think you're even more beautiful than I let on. Lying or telling her the truth, both options feel like disasters waiting to happen. What if I just stay in here and keep quiet for a few days? That would probably give her time to forget about it, and it would give me time to push it out of my own head. And maybe we'd go back to how things were. But I don't want that. My hands tighten over my knees, gripping hard, as if I need to hold myself together. The weight in my chest is unbearable, something I haven't felt in a long, long time. Ugh, this isn't going to work. Sitting here letting my thoughts twist and coil around me isn't helping. Taking a deep breath, I reach for the curtain. My fingers hesitate for just a second before I finally pull it aside, revealing the dim glow of an overcast day. The sky is dull, muted gray, casting everything in a washed-out light that makes the world feel eerily still. My eyes instinctively dart away, avoiding the inevitable, but my brain isn't so merciful. It forces me to look at her yard. And to my surprise, my relief, she's not there. A flicker of something unfamiliar stirs in my chest. I tell myself it's just relief, but as my gaze sweeps across the view, scanning every inch for a trace of her, I can't ignore the curiosity sparking inside me. Where is she? I search for some sign, movement, a shadow, anything, but there's nothing. And while part of me exhales in relief, another part, when I can't quite silence, wishes she were there. She's really messing with my head. I mutter the words under my breath, rubbing the back of my neck as if it'll somehow shake off this strange, restless feeling. That's when I notice it. Her truck is not anywhere around. And with that, I can confirm she's really not home. For some reason, my chest feels lighter, or maybe heavier, I can't quite tell. Well, since she's not around, I think I can work a bit. And if she comes back while I'm there, I could try to pretend nothing happened and just talk about work. The thought lingers, tempting. That option feels safer. Safer, less complicated. Don't look into her house, right? I take a deep breath, gathering what little courage I have left, and step outside, toward her garden. The moment my foot touches the damp ground, I get to work. I don't hesitate, I don't give myself time to think. My hands move on their own, pulling at the straight weeds with the same careful precision as always. It's the only way to drown out the anxious voices clawing at the edges of my thoughts, whispering things I don't want to hear. But to my bad luck, there isn't much left for me to do here today. I've been so thorough these past few days that even the most stubborn weeds have given up. The soil is clean, the plants are thriving, even the smallest pests have been dealt with. There's nothing left to fix. And yet here I am. I force myself to slow down, stretching the few tasks left longer than necessary just to have something to do. In my mind, I tell myself it's just busy work. Just a way to keep my hands moving so my thoughts don't spiral. But in my heart, I know better. I know I'm still doing this for her. Because deep down, I want to believe when she comes home, she'll see what I've done and smile. That despite how yesterday went, none of it will matter because her garden is still thriving. That if her garden is fine, we'll be fine too. How childish of me. Oh, hey. Cutting through the noise of my spiraling thoughts, a voice I don't recognize reaches my ears. I freeze for a second, my attention snapping away from the garden. I turn my head, eyes darting in search of the source. Then my gaze lands on him, a guy. He's standing in front of the house right next to Luna's place. His stance is casual, but there's an intensity in the way he watches me, like he's been waiting for me to notice. Sorry to surprise you. I was coming out when I heard your voice, and I couldn't let it pass. I blinked, still trying to process the sudden interruption, my mind scrambling to catch up. What? You, man. That dog, it didn't hurt you, did it? I saw what happened yesterday. It was quite scary. The way he says it makes my heart skip a beat, recalling the chaos, the fear. I first a nervous chuckle, my hand rubbing the back of my neck as the words come out awkwardly, trying to hide just how unsettled I still am by the memory. So now that I've found you, I wanted to ask if you're okay. There's a kindness in his voice, a sincerity that stands out against the usual banter of strangers. I'm fine, thanks. Good thing Luna was around, so nothing happened to me. Yeah. He nods, but his eyes linger on me for a moment longer as if weighing something. Talking about that, are you guys together? I feel my face flush, my heart jumping into my throat. Huh? I mean, she is new around here and I never saw you before, so. Oh, of course, locking myself inside my house has its side effects. But after yesterday, I wasn't sure about it. I see, but no, we are not together. The thought that someone actually believes we're a couple, it messes with my feelings even more than I expected. It's like a switch was flipped inside me and suddenly I'm lost in a tangle of thoughts. Does it mean we match? That we fit together in a way that makes sense to others? Or maybe it's just the way we look. Does it mean we look good to people from the outside, like some picture perfect pairing? Just the thought of it sends a strange sensation fluttering in my stomach, like a swarm of butterflies all fluttering at once. I try to shake it off to tell myself that I shouldn't be thinking about this, but it feels good. Oops, almost too good. The idea of it, of being seen that way, makes my chest tighten in a way that's both comforting and terrifying at the same time. You okay? Yeah, I'm just a neighbor. Oh, so you live in that house? Yeah, I just don't go out that much. Right. Then what are you doing here? I help out with her garden. I mean, I'm no gardener, but she rents me to do this job for her. That's pretty cool. The gardens in this neighborhood, they're kind of a mess. He's not wrong. This neighborhood, when I really look at it, isn't exactly the image of a well-kept, pristine suburb. The houses show signs of wear, faded paint, cracked fences, and overgrown lawns that haven't seen a mower in weeks. It's not ugly, but it's clear that the unusual attention to detail isn't there. Maybe people are just too busy with work and with the grind of everyday life to bother with appearances. We sort of just let things grow wild until they die off. Yeah, but hey, you're doing something good here. Maybe I should rent you as well. What? The suggestion comes out of nowhere, playful yet oddly serious in its delivery. His voice carries a light-hearted tone, but there's an undercurrent of appreciation, maybe even envy of the way I've been tending to Luna's garden. The idea catches me off guard, but as it settles I can't help but entertain it. That wouldn't be so bad, right? Luna's garden is already in decent shape, thriving under my care. It wouldn't hurt to start another one, to help out, to have something to do. I feel a strange mix of excitement and hesitation, the idea of nurturing another garden almost comforting. That would be nice. Oh. She would be there. She was gone this entire time. Anyway, the sharp sound cuts through the air, a brief telling noise. Brief but telling noise. Like prey sensing a predator, I instinctively turn around, my body reacting before my mind can catch up. And there she is, Luna. She stands by her truck, a storm of emotion swirling behind her eyes. Her hand slams the door shut with more force than necessary, the sound reverberating through the space between us. When did she get here? I didn't hear her truck at all. The realization hits me like a punch to the gut. How did I not notice her arrival? Panic surges through me, my heart racing as I scramble for something to say. My brain churns through possibilities, but none of them seem right. None of them seem to matter. Before I can even get a syllable out, she cuts me off. Of course. Her voice is ice cold, laced with bitterness, and she doesn't even spare me a glance. Okay, hold on. To be fair, we barely have conversations with each other, okay? And I'm almost done with your garden. Me taking up another offer to get money isn't that crazy. Instead, there's a cruel smile on her lips, the kind that doesn't reach her eyes. I stand there, caught off guard, my chest tightening. Without another word, she turns on her heel. She steps inside, the sound of the car door slamming behind her so loud it rings in my ears. The silence that follows is heavy, almost suffocating. It settles around me uncomfortable as I stand there, rooted to the spot, unable to move or think clearly. The emptiness of the moment presses down on me, the weight of the unanswered question lingering in the air. Is she mad at me? The thought gnaws at me, eating away at whatever calm I had left. I want to chase after her, to apologize, to figure out what's going on, but my feet won't move. She's not very friendly, huh? The neighbor's voice pulls me from my gaze, his words a quiet observation, but somehow they feel like a lifeline thrown my way. I'll let you get back to your work. His tone is kind, understanding, as though he senses the awkwardness that's unfolded between Luna and me. Thanks. It was nice to meet you, Alana. Tom, have a great day. Or I think I said good day. With that, he gives a small wave, retreating back toward his own home, leaving me there unsure of what to do next. The days have blurred together, each one slipping through my fingers in the same monotonous rhythm since the moment I told her she's beautiful. Since that day, she's been colder and distant. Conversations have dwindled into nothing, our interactions reduced to fleeting glances. Sometimes I wonder if she's avoiding me entirely, slipping in and out of her home so fast I can barely register her presence. And even when I linger by the window, pretending to be busy with something else, she's already gone before I can catch a glimpse of her. I really messed everything up. The words taste bitter on my tongue. Leaning back in my chair, I let my head fall against it, releasing a long, heavy sigh. The weight of regret settles deep in my chest, relentless and unforgiving. I could just let it go. I could move on, put all of this behind me and pretend it never mattered in the first place. But that would be a lie, because no matter how hard I try, I can't get her out of my head. The way she was carrying, that side of her clings to me like a ghost, haunting my every thought. Also, if we're going to be really honest, is it really that big of a deal? Like, yes, she might have been caring, but her dog almost did try to maul you. So, like, if you're a decent person, you'd be concerned, you know? We have minimal conversations with her. They're, like, one-liners at best. Are we really that worked up? But unlike most ghosts, this one, I want to be real. I want her back. What do you mean? Like, I don't know. I wish I could explain myself, even if she never looks at me the same way again, even if nothing changes. I just wanted her to know. The low rumble of an engine cuts through the silence, yanking me from my spiraling thoughts. Honestly, it's very much giving stalker. My body reacts before my mind does, instincts taking over as I push myself up and rush to the window. And there she is, behind the wheel of her truck, eyes set straight ahead. A sudden urgency flares up inside me, a reckless impulse that drowns out everything else. It's now or never. Like, what? My feet move faster than my thoughts, urgency burning through my veins as I rush toward the door. Which, by the way, even if she feels some type of way about the fact that we're gonna do somebody else's garden, which that's all it was. It's not like he was flirting or anything. He was friendly and he just mentioned us working on his garden. Like, it's not like we have super fucking warm conversations with her. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. Like, the reaction's weird. My feet move faster than my thoughts, urgency burning through my veins as I rush toward the door. I don't even have a plan, just desperate need to reach her, to say something, anything, before it's too late. The air outside is crisp, biting against my skin, but I barely notice. Because the moment I step out, the deep rumble of an engine shakes the ground beneath me. My breath catches. Luna. She looks, just for a second. Dark eyes flick toward me, meeting mine through the windshield. A moment suspended in time, long enough for me to see something flicker across her face. Hesitation, uncertainty, pain. But before I can make sense of it, her expression hardens. The moment shatters. No, wait a second. Just one. But my words are swallowed by the growl of the engine as she shifts into gear. And then she's gone. The tire kicks up dust, the truck vanishing down a road I don't know, disappearing like a wisp of smoke into the gray sky. No. I take a step forward as if I could chase after her, as if my feet could outrun a vehicle, could bridge the growing distance between us. But it's useless. Not again. Frustration coils tight in my chest, raw and suffocating, my hands curling into fists. I refuse to let this be the end. I won't let her slip away without a fight. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, I get she's pretty, she's intriguing, you're curious. I get that. But I feel like this is, like, a bizarre reaction to have. Like, I feel like we're acting like we've had more intense conversations or something. Like, I don't know. It seems like a bit much to me. Toward her door, if she's going to push me out, if she's going to run from me, then fine. But I'll be here when she gets back. I lower myself onto the cold, unforgiving steps, wrapping my arms around my knees as I settle in. I'll wait. No matter how long it takes. Imagine she's gone for an entire week. No matter what it takes. I'm not leaving. Never sees her again. The price of love. Pacing back and forth, I wait for her arrival. The night air clings to my skin like a damp shroud, thick with something unseen. The day has been dull. Barely any signs of life, as if the world itself is holding its breath, anticipating what's to come. But inside my head, chaos reigns, a relentless pounding storm of thoughts screaming over each other. I replay again and again the words I need to say, every line, every possible response, every argument, but nothing feels right. Nothing ever feels right. The ticking clock no longer marks time, it carves it, slices through me, each sound a sharpened edge pressing deeper into my chest. And then, before I can try to go over my speech for the 100th time, a sound shatters the silence. The low guttural growl of an approaching engine. A chill, sharp and sudden runs down my spine. My body locks up as if something has already grabbed hold of me. I freeze, my breath catching in my throat as I turn to look at her. The car door slams, she looks at me, but her fierce expression doesn't change. She moves fast, too fast. Swift, purposeful steps, cutting through the space between us like a blade. She's not happy. Like she is ready to step over me like I'm nothing but a pest. Every instinct in my body screams at me to run, to get away before it's too late, but I stay. Because I need to talk to her, because deep down I still want to fix this. What are we fixing? Like, what are we talking about right now, bro? Lou, what are you doing here? Her voice cuts through the air like a blade. The harshness in her tone isn't just anger, it's something primal. It slams into my chest, knocking the breath out of me before I can even respond. I told you to stay away from my door. I know, but I had to talk. Then before I can react, her hands are on me. Her fingers clamp down around my arm, vice-like. Her grip so tight it feels as if she's trying to dig into the bone itself. A searing pain blooms beneath her touch, a deep pulsating ache that spreads like fire. With effortless strength, she drags me down the steps and straight into her yard. I'm not being led, I'm being taken. I try to resist, but she's too strong. My feet scrape against the ground, barely keeping up. I stumble. My knees nearly buckle, but she doesn't stop. Luna, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. I just want to talk. There's nothing to talk about anymore. I got you. What? It's always like this. You're all the same. Her voice is venom, each word laced with something that makes my stomach turn. Her pace quickens. I can hear her breathing, ragged and uneven, and she's barely holding on, as if she's barely holding something back. She keeps pulling me, her relentless steps dragging me toward my house. My heart pounds so hard it feels like it might crack my ribs. This doesn't feel right. What is wrong with you? Yeah, there must be something wrong with me. The laugh that escapes her is short, bitter, like a blade slicing through the thick, precise, designed to cut deep. What is she tripping out about? Like, are you good, bro? There's no warmth in her voice, only cold, mocking amusement, the kind that makes my breath hitch, the kind that slithers under my skin and takes hold. Then in one sudden violent motion, she shoves me against the door. The impact is brutal. A dull, sickening thud vibrates through my bones as my back crashes into the wood. The door shudders, but I feel it more in my ribs, the force radiating outward like a crack splitting through the glass. Air flees my lungs, it's stolen, wrenched away before I can even gasp. My chest spasms, desperate to pull in oxygen, but my body isn't listening. The world tilts. Colors smear together into meaningless shapes, edges blending, twisting. My vision pulses, dark tendrils creeping in, clawing at my perception. My knees buckle, my legs fold beneath me like they don't belong to me anymore. Like I've been disconnected from myself, my body retreating into survival mode. I reach out, instinct, desperation, but there's nothing to hold on to. Before I can even process the pain, before I can find my balance, before I can even think, she grabs me again. Luna, stop. Her fingers sink into my shirt, yanking me forward with such force that the fabric strains against my throat. The pressure sends a spike of panic through my chest. She's too strong, too fast. Quickly, she yanks me forward by my shirt with such force that my feet barely graze the ground. The world jerks sideways, my stomach lurches, my spine arches unnaturally as I'm dragged upward. The collar of my shirt bites into my throat, a cruel vice that tightens with every fraction of movement. The fabric twists, digging into my skin like a noose. Air vanishes, my throat convulses around nothing. My lungs scream, my body spasms, desperate to pull in even the smallest breath, but the pressure won't relent. Then, searching for something to hold, I find them. Her eyes bore into mine. Dark, unreadable. Something wrong is lurking just beneath the surface. This isn't just anger. It's deeper, hungrier. A fury so raw, so consuming, I can feel it in the air between us, crackling like static before a storm. A fury I don't understand. What's the game, huh? Her fingers tighten. My head snaps forward. Close. Too close. Her breath gusts against my skin. Hot and uneven. My pulse pounds against my temples. A frantic drumbeat of fear. Her eyes, they don't blink, not once. And in that stillness, in that endless, unyielding stare, something inside me breaks. Am I saying kind of joke to you? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? The words drip with something sickly that coils in my stomach and takes root in my chest. The way she says it, low, controlled, seething, it's not just a question, it's a sentence, a verdict. My heart clenches, not just from fear, but from sinking, inescapable feeling. I don't know if I'll leave this moment the same. Or if I'll leave it at all. This is your last chance. I don't fucking know. This is wrong. I think I made a mistake. This is wrong. I know it in my bones. I didn't do anything to deserve this. I told her a piece of my feelings, even if she wanted to reject me, even if she wanted to shut me out completely. This is not how you do it. She's not being fair. And the more I realize it, the more something tightens in my chest. Not just fear, not just hurt, but something colder. I won't stand here anymore waiting for permission, waiting for some invisible signal to act. I won't be a prisoner to this silence. This time I'll move on my own, whether she likes it or not. Frustrated at being punished for doing nothing wrong, I reach out and grab her collar. Not with the same brute strength she used on me, but with the same raw anger simmering beneath my skin. My fingers clenched the fabric tightly, pulling her just enough to close the distance between us. Luna's eyes widen, sharp and piercing, reflecting both surprise and fury. My teeth clench as a low growl escapes my throat. I don't know what happened to you, but you're wrong. Her breath hitches for a second before she yanks at my grip, unshaken in her own stance. I'm not. I know what I saw. What? That guy. You thought I would never know about that, huh? Huh? The words take a moment to register. My mind scrambles through the possibilities, struggling to connect the dots. Slowly, piece by piece, day by day, the fragments are glued together, forming a picture I hadn't even noticed before, and then it clicks. Wait, you're talking about your neighbor? That guy? Yes. Her voice trembles with emotion, anger, frustration, maybe even something deeper. I saw how sweet you were talking to him. I saw all that shit. Bitch, what are you talking about? Do you understand how psychotic that is? How sweet? I'm sorry, but this would send me into a spiral, because what do you mean? I don't even think I'm into her anymore. Like, I'm so confused. And? Don't play stupid now. Okay, wait, hold on. She shakes me by the collar, her grip firm and unrelenting. The motion jolts me, but I keep my hands in the air, a silent signal that I'm still processing. Still trying to piece together the absurdity of it all. Then, like a slap to the face, something so unbelievably ridiculous crosses my mind that I find myself staring at her expressionless. Luna, are you telling me that you're mad and not talking to me all this time because you thought I had a thing with that guy? The silence speaks louder than words. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you for real? The air between us cackles with tension. Cackles. Oh, well, it's laughing. I exhale sharply. My patience worn so thin I can feel the irritation vibrating in my bones. Let me go, right now. My voice is cold, void of anything but sheer annoyance. And as much as Luna wants to keep her hold on me, to hold on to this grudge, she lets go instantly. The loss of pressure makes me take a reflexive step back. I squeeze my temples, inhaling deeply through my nose in a desperate attempt to suppress the frustration bubbling inside of me, like a volcano ready to erupt. Why didn't you just talk to me? Because I knew what I saw. Yeah, right. She doesn't say anything, but I see the way her hands clench on her sides, the way her eyes dart away as she's starting to second-guess herself. God, I was so worried you hated me because of what I said that day, but you were thinking about nonsense. You deserve a punch for doing this to me. What? Don't move. I'll make it hurt. Alana, don't. There's no hesitation, no second thought. I just raw emotion crashing into her like a wave. The heat of frustration, of confusion, of longing all mold together in the act, sealing the argument with something neither of us can deny. My hands grab her face close enough for my lips to reach hers. She stiffens, caught off guard, but then and then she melts into it, her hands gripping the fabric of my shirt as if anchoring herself in place. That's not how you punch people. Maybe I should be angry. Maybe I should be demanding an apology. But right now, all I want is to make her understand how I feel. Luna doesn't move. She just stares. A long silence drenches between us, thick and suffocating. Her face remains unreadable, a mask of conflicting emotions that I can't quite decipher. I can't tell if she's mad or uncomfortable, or just confused. The tension between us is palpable, an invisible thread pulled out, ready to snap at any second. Punch her with our lips. Did you really kiss me? Her voice is different now, softer, hesitant, like she's afraid of the answer, as if acknowledging it would make this moment real in a way she isn't ready for. Yeah. And for a long moment, Luna doesn't move. Then suddenly her entire body shifts. Her shoulders drop, her arms loosen, and it's like every ounce of tension she's been holding onto suddenly slips away, draining from her frame like a dam finally breaking. She turns slightly, breaking eye contact, her gaze darting somewhere off to the side. The sharpness that was there moments ago is gone, replaced with something more fragile, more vulnerable. She brushes her fingers against her cheek, barely touching her skin, almost like she's trying to hide. What kind of nonsense is this? She whispers, her voice carrying a weight that is both solemn and almost comedic, teetering on the edge of disbelief. For a moment her words sting. I don't know if she meant them that way, but they cut deep, making it feel as if my feelings didn't matter at all, as if they were nothing more than an inconvenience to her. I shouldn't be wasting my time with things like this. Her voice is quiet, almost as if she's speaking to herself. I thought she didn't mean to voice it loud. A lump warms my throat. Am I really bothering you that much? More than you realize. Her words hit like a punch to the gut. I feel my heart plummet into my stomach. It shatters something inside me, fractures the fragile warmth I had been holding on to, leaving behind nothing but cold, empty space. But I refuse to let it show, not this time. I force a sharp, bitter expression onto my face, masking the hurt beneath the layer of feigned indifference. This isn't the first time someone has made me feel small, but this time I won't run away. If that's the case, then I can just stay out of your way. You can forget about this job, too. And you can forget about me. I turn, ready to walk away, to put as much distance between us as possible before my composure crumbles completely. But before I can take another step, she moves, too fast for me to react. Oh, that's a position. In an instant, she closes the gap between us. Were we not outside? This looks like we're inside now. In an instant, she closes the gap between us, reaching out without hesitation. One hand grabs my waist, the other grabs my chin, tilting my face up, forcing me to meet her gaze. My breath catches in my throat. She's so close that I can feel the heat of her skin. The air between us crackles with something neither of us fully understands yet. Her eyes burn into mine, filled with something fierce, something that isn't anger, but isn't quite tenderness either. And for a split second, I forget how to move. You've already wasted my time, so there's no point in running from the consequences now. She pushes me inside, the door slamming shut behind her with a finality that sends a shiver down my spine. My heart pounds violently against my ribs, each beat echoing the undeniable certainty of where this is headed. She stands before me, her breath slightly ragged, her gaze dark and searching. Oh, so we can't go into her house, but she can come into ours? As if giving me one last chance to back away. But I don't want to run. I can't. I mean, you are in your own house, so. Not when the space between us is charged with something too powerful to ignore. In one swift movement, I can close the gap between us, my hands reaching for her, fingers curling around the back of her neck. I pull her down, crashing my lips against hers, and a kiss that is nothing short of desperate. A sharp inhale escapes her, but she doesn't pull away. Instead, she responds with equal fervor. Her hands gripping my waist, fingers digging in as if anchoring herself into this moment. Her touch is slow but deliberate, her hands gliding over my body with a possessiveness that makes my breath hitch. Every caress feels like she's mapping me out, committing every inch of me to memory. Heat pulls in my stomach as her lips move against mine, hungry and demanding. I melt into her, letting her take control, letting her press me further into the warmth of her body. She breaks the kiss just enough to look at me, her lips swollen, her pupils blown wide with something dangerous. The silence between us is deafening, yet it speaks volumes. A silent question lingers in the air, but we already know the answer. A smirk tugs at the corner of her mouth, a knowing, wicked bang before she closes the distance once more, this time with a fire that threatens to consume us both. I look at the ceiling, and for a moment I get lost in the details of the cracks I know so well. Normally what I see there keeps me up at night. The shadows that dance on the walls seem to crawl slowly as if they're watching me. The heavy silence of my own company is always deeper when the night stretches on, as if the world outside is also asleep. But today something is different. A soft, comforting light shines over me. It's not like any ordinary light. Not like the kind that streams through the window on a sunny day. It seems to fill the room, wrapping my body and mind in a sense of calm I can't explain. Like a warm embrace from something who understands me without words. It's a strange warmth, but gentle. I feel it in my chest, where anxiety usually resides. And then, just as I think peace may actually envelop me completely, I feel a soft touch, almost ethereal, holding my hand. We fought. I turn slowly, my body moving with a quiet reverence, and there she is. She's sleeping beside me, a picture of calm and perfection, her breathing light and steady. Her hair falls in soft waves over the pillow, and I lose myself again in her beauty. For a moment I stay there watching her with a gentle smile, a smile that only she can draw from me. I don't know, we could have kissed for a while and she could have left. She'd be hot and cold. But then she starts to stir, her eyes slowly opening, still covered in the softness of sleep. When she sees me, her pupils widen slightly, and her lips part as if she's about to say something, and then her eyes lose their shine. For a second I wonder if I imagined it. Was it a trick of the light, a fleeting expression? But the way her gaze falters, the way her posture shifts, it's clear something is sinking inside her. Morning. My voice is soft, warm, filled with the lingering tenderness of last night. Balloon tenses beneath my touch. My smile falters. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. I'm not into the back and forth. Hey, what's wrong? She exhales sharply, the sound ragged and unsteady. She like she's been holding something in for too long. Her fingers drag down her face before she finally sits up, her shoulders curling inward as if bracing for a storm. We can't do this. The words hit like ice water against my skin, shock and immediate. My stomach tightens, my pulse stuttering as I try to process them. I frown, pushing myself up onto one elbow, searching her face for anything that might soften the blow. Why? Is there something wrong about us being together? No, that's not it. Her voice is quick, almost desperate, as if the very idea wounds her. She shakes her head, eyes flickering with something raw, something fragile. Being with you is the nicest thing I have felt in a long time. So what's wrong? Her throat bobs, and I can see the tension in her jaw, the way her fingers clutch the fabric of her own sleeves. Whatever she's about to say, I can tell it's difficult for her. Because I've done something terrible, something I can't take back. Her voice is barely above a whisper, but the impact is deafening. My chest tightens, a dull ache blooming there, but I don't interrupt, I don't push, I wait. And then she looks at me, really looks at me, and for the first time I see it. The fear that clouds her irises, the guilt that lingers in the downturn of her lips, the self-loathing carved into every crease of her expression. She's been carrying this for so long, alone. Now she's finally letting me see it. A long time ago, I made an awful mistake. I killed a man. Kind of figured that. But I kind of thought she was, continuously killing people. The words land like a thunderclap in the quiet room. My breath catches in my throat. But I don't move away. I don't even flinch. The compression hangs between us, threatening to crush the air from my lungs. I mean, is it my business? Do I care? She waits, watching me closely, her body tense as if bracing for impact, but I refuse to give her the reaction she expects. The horror, the revulsion, the fear. Instead, I hold my ground. I let my anger take over, and it ruined everything. It destroyed the life of the person I loved most, and now I see it happening again. I see myself making the same mistakes. Her voice wavers, a crack splintering through the carefully constructed wall she's built around herself. Her hand trembles before she clenches them into fists, nails digging into her palms as if trying to stay sane. The best thing I can do is leave before I destroy you too. The words are final, like the closing of a door, a barrier is rising between us, but I refuse to let it stand. I shake my head, sitting up fully, reaching out instinctively, my fingers wrapping around her wrist as if I can physically keep her from slipping away. Her skin is warm beneath my touch, but there's a coldness in her posture, an unwillingness to be held back. No, wait. This is in the past, Luna, and I don't care. My voice is urgent, desperate. I don't want to let her go. I can't. You're not that person anymore, alright? For a moment, she says nothing. The silence stretches, fragile and uncertain. Then, slowly, she closes her eyes, just for a second, like she wishes so badly that she could believe me. I didn't read that last sentence, my bad. But when she speaks, her voice is steady, firm, resolute. It's not that simple. Every time I try to hold on to something good, I ruin it. I hurt people, Alana. I won't let that happen to you. I tighten my grip, holding onto her like she's the only thing keeping me tethered. My vision blurs, emotions swelling until they've threatened to spill over. I won't let her push me away, not like this. You're not giving me a choice, that's not fair. She looks down at her joined hands, hesitation flickering in her expression, a war raging beneath the surface. Her fingers twitch, as if longing to hold on, but then slowly, painfully, she pulls away. The absence of her warmth feels like a wound. I know. My throat tightens, a lump forming that I can't swallow down. My heart pounds painfully against my ribs, like it's trying to break free from my chest. After last night, please, Luna, don't do this. You don't have to go. I'm pleading now, and I don't care about how desperate I sound. The fear of losing her, of watching her slip through my fingers, outweighs any sense of pride. What we did last night was wrong because I already had this in my mind. Her voice is barely above a whisper, laced with something like regret. I shouldn't have used it like that, but I didn't want to go without living this piece of a moment with you. Her words pierced through me, a bittersweet knife twisting deep. I'm really sorry, Alana. Please try to forgive me what I did. But you didn't. Just try. The sudden force in her voice makes me flinch. Her hands clench into fists at her sides, her body trembling with the weight of everything left unsaid. Once you learn about it, try to forgive me. I open my mouth, but no words come. Nothing I say will be enough to stop her. She steps closer, cupping my face gently, her fingers lingering like she's memorizing the shape of me. Then she presses a soft kiss to my forehead. It's tender, final, a goodbye disguised as comfort. And then she stands, and I feel something inside me fracture. She's actually leaving. She reaches for the door, pausing with one hand on the frame, gripping it so tightly her knuckles turn white. She doesn't turn around. Goodbye, Alana. Panic surges through me. I lurch forward, ready to fight, ready to make her stay, to do anything to make her see that she doesn't have to do this. But then she looks at me and I stop. There's something in her gaze, something pleading, begging me not to make this harder. It's the first time I realize she's hurting just as much as I am. And then she steps through the doorway and closes it behind her before I can reach her. I stare at the closed door, my body frozen, my breath shallow, my heart hammering against my ribs. The weight of her absence crashes down onto me like a collapsing ceiling. For a long moment, I just stand there, hoping, praying that she'll come back, that she'll change her mind, that the door will open and she'll be there. But she doesn't. She's gone. It's been a few days since Luna left. Since then, I've been locked inside my room, suffocating in the emptiness she left behind. The world outside continues as if nothing has changed, but in here, in my own personal prison, time has stopped. All the light she brought to me is gone. Every reason I had to smile has vanished like a dying ember in the dark. This feels very, I don't know. Oh, posture check. This feels very, very, I don't know, a lot. I feel like I feel like it's too much. They don't spend time together. They barely talk. And when they do, it's mostly awkward. Mostly, very one-sided. And I don't know. For the intensity of the emotions that they're both having, it just seems really weird to me. And maybe that could be me. It could just be me. But it just feels like a lot. a lot. Um, and like this is giving very much like Edward leaving Bella and Bella being depressed as fuck. All the light she brought to me is gone. Every reason I had to smile has vanished, like a dying ember in the dark. Hating everything has become part of my routine now. And now I'm back here, sitting in front of my empty email inbox, waiting. But now I think I'm waiting for more than just an answer. My eyes drift to the window to her yard. The weeds are growing wild, creeping up through the cracks, untamed and unchallenged. The pests have returned, reclaiming their space like they always do, just like the darkness inside me. I'm losing myself again. My heart aches, a hollow, ceaseless pain. My mind is exhausted, running in circles, searching for something that isn't there. I'm in limbo again. And also, not even just that, but this is in a span of like a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure. A month tops. But they haven't known each other that long. I don't know. This is all very bizarre to me. And it's so frustrating because I was trying. I was doing my best to leave this place, to be better, to move forward. I take a deep breath, my chest tightening, and force myself to my feet. The air inside is thick, heavy with memories, with longing, with regret. I need to go outside even if it won't change anything. The fresh air hits my nostrils with force, cold and biting, making me inhale deeply. The damp scent of earth mixed with the faint smell of dry leaves brings a strange sensation, an odd contrast between the calmness of nature and the weight in my chest. The world outside is just as gray as inside. The overcast sky hides any trace of light, and the trees sway gently in the cold wind. Nothing has changed since she's been gone. People keep living their lives. The days go on without interruption. But for me, everything has come to a standstill, as if time itself has lost its meaning. I walk a few hesitant steps toward her garden. The wilted flowers, the twisted branches, and the dry soil are a silent reminder of the abandonment. The place that once was so clean now seems like a forgotten fragment of the past. That's how much she cared about my work, huh? The words spill from my lips, but there's no anger in them. Only an empty melancholy, a sadness that drags me down like an ever-present shadow. I walk toward her yard and I feel my heart sink. The silence of the place is deafening, and her absence weighs on me like a stone in my chest. You'll pay me extra when you're back. The attempt to add a joke slips out in a soft whisper, but instead of a smile, only tears fall down my face. I miss her little talks. Really? I miss the way she'd laugh at my complaints, the warmth of her presence that used to make everything feel a little less heavy. Each memory cuts through me like shards of glass now. Wiping my tears, I smell something strange surrounding me. It's strong, overpowering, and it hits me before I can process it. My stomach churns instantly. I look around trying to locate the source of the smell and realize that it only seems to be getting worse. It's coming from her house. A shiver runs down my spine, my heart races. Something inside tells me to walk away, but curiosity, or maybe just a terrible instinct, drives me forward. Dismiss that. I still feel guilty for forgetting. I still feel guilty for getting so close, for breaking the rules that she used to insist on, but she's not here anymore. I take a deep breath, regretting it instantly. The foul odor is overwhelming. I cover my mouth with my hand to keep from gagging as I push the door open. It creaks slowly, and the moment it cracks, I feel my stomach rise. What the fuck? No. As my vision adjusts to the dim light inside, I freeze. Oh. Was her killing the man not that far back? The blood covers the living room floor like a twisted rug. It splashes against the walls, the couch, the curtains. The metallic scent mixes with the stench of decay, making everything even more unbearable. And in the middle of that horror, it's him. The neighbor? Oh, when she said she let her anger get the... That's crazy because he talked to me? No way. Hold on. It's her neighbor? His body torn apart, His limbs devoured, eaten by the dog, the flesh, or what's left of it, torn and shredded. My heart pounds in my chest. The air feels like it's been stolen from me. I wish nothing had changed, but now I realize what she was talking about that day and why she ran away. Oh my god. That's it? And that's it? Over a misunderstanding? She killed that man. I'm flabbergasted at this point. If only you had loved me. This is... I'm confused. This is crazy. Happy April Fool's Day. What the fuck? I'm so confused. I've never been more confused. You know what? Hold on. Because, what do you mean? I'm looking at the game. Am I meant to be this confused? Because I am. Like, huh? Okay, well, I don't want to do that. What is this called? Ketos. It's 100% wasn't anything. Okay, so it says, in a colorless world where three protagonists live their empty routines, trapped in an existence that brings them neither joy nor pain, they have no dreams, ambitions, or strength to change their lives. But all of that is about to end. Without warning, three strangers enter their lives. Captivating, magnetic, and intense. Each path is a dive into the unknown, where the line between passion or terror dissolves. Is there a way out, or deep down was this always the only way to feel something real? So, does it change depending on who you pick in the beginning? So the person I chose, Alana, 28 years old, 170 centimeters, personality, pessimistic, introspective, and sensitive. Hobbies, collecting books. Shaped by a deep sensitivity that colors her view hazy, she is constantly haunted by the fear of disappointments the future might hold. The other girl, Lucy, 24 years old, 169 centimeters, personality, intelligent, positive, and curious. Hobbies, baking cookies. With a brilliant mind, she approaches the world with an insatiable curiosity, always eager to uncover the secrets that lie beneath the surface. Oh, she would have died fast. John Myers, 42 years old, 178 centimeters, personality, kind, dreamy, and loyal. Hobbies, photography. He constantly puts others before himself, yet beneath his kindness lies a shadowed perspective of the world, one that keeps him from believing in happy endings. Okay, so we each one gets a different love interest then. Okay, so ours was obviously Luna, 34 years old, 172 centimeters, personality, reserved, mysterious, and impulsive. Hobbies, driving. She's an enigma, shrouded in silence. Shrouded in silence, forever fleeing the light, yet when swept away by impulsiveness, her secrets emerge with intensity and unpredictability. Oh, I didn't realize it was an ad. Oops. Interesting. Okay, so definitely different. Because, so each main character has their own love interest. I am a little curious about the other ones, to be honest. But we have hit the 4 hour mark, so I do think I'm done. Maybe I'll come back to it later. So, it looks like. Oh. I don't. It doesn't say which love interest is for which main character. Like, obviously, Alana has Luna. But the other two love interests is Eric Quinn. He's 31 years old, 170 centimeters. Personality unstable, devoted, and manipulative. Hobbies: writing a journal. With a childlike smile and a distant gaze, he offers himself completely to those he loves. Yet beneath his devotion lurks a shadow capable of turning love into a silent prison. Interesting. He's kind of cute, though. And then there's Caleb, 36-year-old, 182 centimeters, personality, confident, seductive, and cynical. Hobbies: dance. Ooh, he has a tattoo. He's a master at weaving connections with his charm, skillfully manipulating words and actions to shape the emotions of others as if they were mere pieces in a game he always controls. So, none of them are that great. Luna seems to be the best out of the three of them, but then, like, maybe not because she did kill a man. Interesting. I might revisit this, or maybe I'll just play this in my Discord, possibly. I don't know. I'll think about it. But that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for joining our Thirsty Thursday, and I hope you enjoyed your daily dose of bliss. And I will see you
Dobby's
in the
gonna
next.
fuck you slow.
Now, why would you do that?
With the lights
There's
off.
no way.
I am coming. Oh, fuck.
Why would you? What did you think it was when you clicked on it? It was added a long time ago for the 24-hour stream, and it never got taken off. And both you and Saint have fucking clicked on it. You guys have too many fucking shards. Jesus. I'm gonna take it off because what the fuck? And it's so loud in my ear. It's probably normal for you guys, but for me it's insanely loud. I love you so much.